Form 4, wake up. Let me tell you something, students. If you don't work smart, you won't make it to university. In Macau, university life is paradise. You will sleep the way you want, no bells or timetable. Every type of men you dream of are there, ladies. To the men. In the battling world of campus life, there are constant balance of challenges and triumphs. We all know it. Waking up early, kuinama, searching talents, all for the chance of a better life, something spectacular. It is exactly 6:30. For some people, it is too early to wake up, but for students here, their daily academic schedule is on the run. You can easily see students arriving for their classes. Some of them didn't even grab anything this morning to sustain their stomach, but still valued learning. One will grab a book to read as she waits. Parents don't know it. Guardians have no idea. Lecturers might have a clue. Students are struggling. A reason we call it behind the scenes. As we begin to interact with various students, we meet this student in his third year who shared his ordeal with us one night in his first year. Call it exile. Wycliffe Ochieng, a student pursuing applied sciences and statistics with the hope that one day after his 4-year course he will give something great back to the society, narrates how he experienced a cold night in his first year just for the sake of the quote, man up.
It's my first year. I'm not even 3 weeks old in this school.
Very green.
Very green. By that time, I'd still not yet made friends. Like I was just alone, and my roommate was my first friend by then. So he told me, look for a place where you are going to spend your night. I was like, at this time now, why am I going to get a friend where I can spend a night with? It took me time thinking about it, but I felt like I never wanted to hurt him. I never wanted to disappoint him. Like I was trying to act like I understand these things. I never wanted to cross paths with him. So I decided to leave. I left him there. I never took supper. I just took my jacket and left the room. When I left the room, 9 p.m., you don't know where you want to go. You have no friends yet. You don't have friends. The friend that you had is now the one who is now chasing you away. So I went in a small hotel. I bought food worth 80 shillings. You know, at that time, your mom sends you 200 shillings and she expects you to call him maybe after a week. That's after 7 days or maybe 6 days. So she expects you to be using this amount of money for all this period of time. But that day now when I was sent out, first of all I spent 80 shillings for supper. You know, already I've interfered with my budget of the day, of the week, let me say that. I've interfered with my budget. So 80 shillings, I bought food in a hotel. But the kind of situation that I was in, the kind of, let me say, I don't know how to express it, but the feelings that I had, I don't know, I can say that I was stressed out. So I ate this food for 80 shillings, but I felt like I had eaten nothing. When I left that hotel, I was still roaming around the school. I never knew of where to go to. So I decided to go into another hotel. Again, I bought food for 40 shillings. Now the 40 plus the 80, that is 120 shillings. In this amount that you should be spending in a week, you've already spent 120 shillings in a single day. Of course, you feel like things are not going as planned. So I ate food for 40 shillings. But still, you feel like it is not enough. I don't know what happened to me that day. I really ate too much. I left that hotel. I I was now roaming around the school gate. But I had it in mind that the gates of the school are being closed at what time? At 10 p.m. So I was calculating, and I made sure that the moment the clock ticks at 10 p.m., it will find me in school, so that I may have an excuse of not getting outside the school. So by 10 p.m. I was in school. I don't know where to go. In fact, as a comrade, you know that during those hours, you find that your phone battery is now going low. So I didn't know where to go to. I decided to go back to tuition complex. I acted like I had forgotten something inside there, but I knew it just to come back to school and have my way into the tuition complex. So I went and passed as if I was rushing. And the watchman himself, the security man there, thought that I had forgotten something. Then I entered. But in turn, I never came out. I looked for a corner below a staircase. And I squeezed myself in that corner. When I squeezed myself in that corner, you're just forcing rest. You're just forcing yourself to rest. But indeed, you are not. Personally, I felt like I wasn't in the right mind. I wasn't restful. I was being disturbed. So I was just there. You're lying in tiles. The cold that is there, you are just persevering. Up to around 11:15 p.m. in the night. At 11:15, I had some movements around. So I made my mind active, and I was alert, and I was prepared. Whatever comes, let it come. There's another security man was roaming around with a sniffing dog, and he passed below the stairs. The security man passed, but the sniffing dog remained. So the security man says that there was something that was happening around here. So he came back and confirmed. And the security man himself was, I can't say that he feared or what, but he was somehow, I can't tell, because he couldn't approach me bravely. So he looked for a long stick. He could give me some touches when he was at a distance. So he was touching me with that stick at a distance. But I wasn't moving. He touched me again, but I wasn't moving. When he touched me the third time, then I came out as if I was in a deep slumber that I wasn't feeling anything. When I came out, he took me to the main security man who was at the entrance of the tuition complex gate. And he asked the security man if at all he knew of me being inside there. They really threatened me, and they, of course they asked me why I was there, and I had to forge some stories, some false stories for them to believe. But
so you didn't tell them the truth?
I didn't tell them the truth. I didn't tell them the truth because I knew that me telling them the truth might force them to go and look for my roommate so that they can inquire whatever happened, that he had to inform me such like a thing very late in the night. So I just had to act like a mature man who understands everything. So I had to manipulate so many stories to make them believe. But I can't say that they believed me, but I can't say that they didn't believe me because they asked me whatever I was doing there. I told them my roommate, I left my roommate in the room. We only have a single key, and my roommate left, but he never told me he was not going to come back. So as for now, he's currently not around. He is somewhere in say Migori or Homa Bay, not in KISII County. So they never believed me, and they said they threatened to take me to the security's office, and in fact they even asked me for my parents' contact. I knew that when I gave out the real contact parent, and my parent, if in case she heard of whatever happened, she could be very wide at me. So I gave them a contact that I used.
As darkness continued to rend the air, Wycliffe wished that on that day he would sleep on this bed. But something painful and something that many won't believe happened. He slept on the stairs. Many students are in the same shoes as Wycliffe. The difference is the size of their shoes. That don't deter them from working towards their goals. Back to the Bible. David played a harp. Samson could break the unbreakable. That's why talents are gifts from God and everyone has his. Many students here have talents. We are privileged to interview one, Anthony Kebabe.
Ambassador of Jikubali in KISII University. Maybe you can share with us your journey and being a musician also.
Okay. Jikubali. Let me start with Jikubali. Jikubali is a mental wellness student campaign that was started 1 year ago here in KISII University. I'm the brand ambassador, but Mr. is the face of the brand, which is Jikubali Africa. I influence for Jikubali amongst the students outside the campus across Kenya. I'm also a poet, I'm a rapper, and also a content strategist. Yeah.
Okay, you produced your song Son of a Peasant. Maybe the challenges you face when producing that song.
In art, there are challenges. The first challenge is people accepting who you are. That's the first thing. The songs that we make, they have a very tiny niche. The people who listen to us to go ground in short. So people don't get to listen to what we do, and people don't acknowledge the work that we present, but we keep struggling with it. Studio funding and production, that's also a challenge, but we try. And another thing is balancing class life and entertainment life. It's never easy, but we always meet our ends.
And where exactly do you get your maybe financial support from?
Side hustles. Side hustles. Side hustles that are from advertising, for example, being the face of a brand, a certain brand, marketing and promotion, brand activations.
Okay, everything about you is art. Maybe something that you aspire in future that you can share with us.
Do your thing and believe in what you're doing, because at the end of the day you must be self-centered. At the end of the day it's you, and no matter what, never end up being a collateral. And if you end up being a collateral, that's not the end of the road. You pick up your things and start moving again.
Okay, for a student who is talented and maybe wants to join your team, maybe the Jikubali or the art girl, maybe something can take them.
First of all, you must be self-driven. Unajituma, unaweka bidii sana. That's the first thing. Then the second thing, you must understand what you're doing and how to do it and how to deliver it. Then we will pick you up from there.
Are you expecting maybe a music in the coming future?
Yeah, in fact, I'm working on an EP, 3 EPs. These are mini albums. These 3 EPs will be put together into one big album that will be released in the next 12 months from now. That's a personal EP. There's a content collaborations with the other content creators, Aberi and the local ones, and these kids, Fifi, and also we have other projects with Art Galo, for example, at Kalo next year we'll be having one of our anniversary, but it will be combined with all the artists, all the students around, the most weird, underrated artists. In short, we are the minor and we focus on the minority in the community. So the things we do for those who love us only.
Okay, the University of Nairobi is hosting Halloween week for the first time in Kenya. Maybe I've seen at Galo people from other universities going. What about KISII University?
Okay. What about KISII University? Talking of KISII University and Art Galo is a student community.
Yeah.
Focusing on art, poetry, and live music. It's not sponsored by the university.
Like are we hoping for you to show up?
We will show up when our funding system will allow us, because if the school will support, we will be there. But vitu zingine kama haziwezani tunachana nazo. We will do our own. And generally this is to the entertainment system of the school. They should find a way of at least to make sure that every weekend there's something happening in the campus. That's what we call entertainment. We should not look at the cultural week only. Every weekend there are students who cannot manage to go for clubbing, outdoor events which are expensive, and exposed to different negative vitu mbaya, negative devices. Shule nafaa focus on entertainment at least twice a month. Hata kama kuna funding, twice a month they do something creative so that they can keep these students looking forward and engaged. Kuna marapa huku ndani, they've never even stepped on a stage or hata kushika mic. They don't know. That's the only way they exploit their talents. So huko nje ukienda huko nje unaambia mseme ni rapa na kwamba umetoa ngoma ngapi, ni mbili, umehita hapana, tulia tutakuita. You see, that's the challenge they also meet.
Wait, when one mentions football, the first thing coming to our mind is Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Man City, Ronaldo and Messi. But what if I tell you that in KISII University we have more than that? God-gifted footballer.
I have said before. As a footballer, what are some of the challenges you undergo in your day-to-day activities? Here is
okay. Challenges as a footballer. First, the known challenges is space. Actually, in our school, tunapata msee, saa zingine unatamani kucheza ball but kuna hiyo field yenye iko available ya kucheza hiyo. That's the major challenge in most footballers on face. Then kitu ingine, another challenge I can say is time. How to balance the football and studies. Sometimes it's hectic to uwezi balance hizi vitu zote pamoja, so unapata lazima upe portion ya education, it's part, then talent pia it's part. Yeah, I'd say those two.
That's right. From the challenges you mentioned, what do you think the administration should do to minimize a situation like that?
Okay, you know, talent is something which maybe always keeps students busy.
Freedom. Freedom is when you express your grievances and is acted upon. Even though students are dedicated in their studies, they encounter academic barriers.
Like me leo siku yote nilikuwa na online classes yote, so sija attend any e-learning. Yangu iko na problem, like sijaweza kusign classes. So like hapo ndo ningependa muangalie. Hiyo ingine ni kwa student tu, yani anaweza jicontrol mwenyewe.
Really bad. Yeah, they are really bad. Then about the school, I guess we are facing those challenges of carrying the check. You can imagine you are at KISII, you have a class at KISII 15.
number of struggles is caused. You know, waking up every day, going to attend those lectures, at times the lectures do bounce, at times they're there, at times you're not even getting anything. And it's a whole lot of struggle commuting. Personally, I commute from my place. Commuting from my place to school, it's quite cumbersome. You know, at times you have lectures up to 7 p.m. and getting out of school and on my way home, it's just hell. But then we have to go through the struggles and overcome. That's where we rate ourselves.
Is that maybe the administration should try to minimize the amount of students they've taken. You see, because you find that even we students that remain here to have our classes in the main campus, sometimes it's a challenge to find a venue. Find that all venues are packed, so we have to fix our classes for this time.
So the early classes, like the classes at 7 because I have to wake up very early and prepare. So yeah. And also sometimes, I can't be able to go back home for lunch and stuff. And sometimes my mom doesn't have money.
Leadership begins way back home. In a family, father is the head. It is exactly 2 weeks since general election at KISII University. Students have expressed their grievances. Leaders are elected. Will they do their work? Every student here is now using the phrase, "This time round, don't let us down." What is in the mind of these newly elected student leaders?
Whereby we had the Hope Alliance Coalition and then we had the Progressive Alliance Coalition. Amongst the two coalitions, one only emerged the winner, that is obvious, and we can't be winners all at the same time. So Progressive Alliance became the winners of the day. Personally, I was a supporter and a key person in Hope Coalition. I took actually a very key role in the process of ensuring that the Hope Alliance Coalition was taking its part in these elections. To the coalition that won in these elections, personally I can't say much about it because I was not part of it. I never engaged with them. It is just that they are all comrades, and I can't actually promise my fellow comrades that whatever they were given as manifestos shall come to be implemented all of them. We just have to lower our expectations to avoid disappointment of the same, because comrades are comrades. The leadership that was there the other year is not the same leadership that is going to work this year. But what I can say, we just have to accept the situation, the reality that they are comrades and they are going to lead us under an institutional management. So that is actually basically what I can say as for now.
Okay, thank you. During your campaign, you went to the ground, listened to the student grievances. From the information you got, what would you like the administration to do to improve and change some of the things the students say, some of their challenges?
Okay, some of the challenges that currently the students of KISII University are undergoing. Number one, if I can mention, is the issues of marks in the portal. Actually, a lot of students are complaining that their marks are not being uploaded in the system at a very fast rate. So students are actually requesting for the implementation of a policy that guides the institutional management that once the students have done the exams, the results should reflect in the portal at most 2 weeks after the exams have been done. The second thing that the students are also presenting as their grievances is that the issue of payment of school fees. You will find a situation whereby student is forced to forego their exams when they have a fee balance of even less than 500. What does that imply to? A lot of students are missing exams due to such petty reasons. So I just urge the institution to be considerate enough and check on that, so that in a place where they can pardon students with such issues regarding fees, then that can better the improvement of the student. Secondly, the insecurities within the institution is not that alarming actually. We have a lot of insecurity cases whereby you will find students being robbed of their items, students being attacked by the villagers. So I just think that it will be good for the students when we have even a police post within the institution or close to the institution. Currently we only have the KISII Central Police Station, which serves as the key police post that serves within the institution. Regardless, the fact that we have our officers within the institution, but these ones are just here within a season, they also leave. It will be good if we incorporate the police officers within the institution or a bit within a radius of at most 200 meters away. Thank you.
As a young leader with the hopes and big dreams, what are some of your aspirations?
Basically, what I can say, currently I'm also a student leader within the institution.
Yes.
I'm a chairperson to KISII University, Siaya County Student Association, also the chairperson of the Luo community.
DVC, ARSA, and DVC, APS. We addressed it and they agreed together with us we were going to deal with biometrics to curb the congestion on the gates and the time wasting. Another thing we talked about, or I talked about in my manifesto, was issues missing mark. So far so good. I've tried my best to handle which I can, and I promise CIST as a whole I'll deliver.
Okay, and some people complain that there are insecurities within the school. Like the last week, there was a student who was stabbed by a knife and the phone was grabbed from the student. What can you say about that?
Issues in security has been a rising issue not only in KISII University but in Kenyan campuses. As KISII University decided, we will be installing the biometrics. Biometrics first of all, because the issue wasn't basically within school. It wasn't basically outside the school. It was the entire place. So first of all, within the school, we had issues, laptops being stolen from the hostels, phones being stolen. We'll start with the installation of biometrics. Why biometrics? Because it only allows people within the school to enter, meaning we can easily access and trace the person. Secondly, issues, phones and laptops, we agreed. Me personally as a CIST, as a software developer, we talked about installing softwares that will be able or will enable us to track the laptops and the phones within KISII University. About insecurity outside, police officers have been allocated various places, instance Nyamage, Milimani and other places. They'll be patrolling around, and again ambulances have been issued to help, because there are some issues we can't prevent them from happening. Security doesn't involve people being stolen, it also involves human danger, life. We had a case last year where a student died. The reason being the school didn't have the van to facilitate the transportation of the patient to the hospital. An ambulance has been issued and it is something that will be delivered.
And most students within the school hostels are complaining that there are leakages, and when it rains, they are being wet on by the rain. What can you say about that?
Issues, leakages, that is under student affairs and welfare. As a CIST congressperson, my job is to accelerate. I'll put forward the concern and the necessary things will be taken in place, measures.
Okay. Challenges are strengths. Aspirations are true dreams that lead us to the road to achieving our goals. If you can't fly, jump. If you can't jump, walk. And if you cannot walk, at least crawl. No matter these challenges, we keep going.